It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions on Thursday night primetime.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Here's the kicker, Jake Bates, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. First look at the Cowboys offense as Dak Prescott gets ready to guide them.
And how about the toughness of Dak Prescott? We see it all the time on the field. And remember when he had that serious ankle injury, would he return to form? Boy, did he ever. And he was better than ever, and that's great for the NFL. Terrific resilience, playing at a high level, capable of winning a championship with his arm and his legs.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. They run here with Rico Dowdle. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
They run again with Dowdle. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 16 and a Dallas first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Looking to throw, Prescott. And Cooks has it over the middle. And the Cowboys are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
2nd and goal from the 1. Throwing, Prescott. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Brandon Cooks from a yard out. And the Cowboys put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. They got to love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
Aubrey good with a PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first overall selection of the 2016 draft. From Cal, it's Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1/4 of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Oh, a short pass here taken in by Laporta. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Micah Parsons from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. And they'll send Williams in motion right. Throwing on 2nd and long. Goff, throw right side, complete to Williams. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Cavante Turpin deep for the Cowboys. And this will be taken at the 13. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Prescott. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Prescott to throw it. That is caught. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
They run here with Dowdle. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
A running play. It's Dowdle. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. To throw is Prescott. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 36. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10, as they've got it as we resume action. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be 2nd and a couple. On the run, it's Dowdle. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 70 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
Now that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Now Prescott. Got his tight end. That's complete. It's Ferguson. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating there.
Touchdown, Cowboys! 2 first-half touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Aubrey now for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And no chance to see a return on a dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. They'll stay on the ground with Brooks. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Now an injured player here, so a stoppage, and that's Jamison Williams who's shaken up. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Gone. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And he's brought down. They'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. Got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. To throw is Goff. That's to the tight end, Laporta. So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Goff throwing again. Throw caught by Raymond. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Ball at the 8 here for 2nd and a yard. Maybe a touch less. Up the middle with Brooks here. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
St. Brown in motion right. Here's Brooks. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Goff. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown from 6 yards away. And the Lions are back within a score.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make our score 14-7. That time, a 9-play drive. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Cowboys offense and running back Rico Dowdle headed back onto the field. And he's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. So for this offense, Charles, remember, drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
That is incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
2nd and 10. Prescott. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Here's Prescott. He gets it to Cooks. And he will have a Cowboys first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Prescott. There again is Cooks, complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Prescott now. Flushed out right. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, I could spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Zadarius Smith in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
But that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Aiden Hutchinson providing a little deja vu. Back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
But this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air. Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
The tight end in motion right. Off play action. Here's Goff. That pass caught. It's Williams. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And that's one of the better plays we've seen this offense put together so far. They haven't been able to get on track much at all. But listen, they're only down a couple of scores with the rest of this quarter and the entire fourth remaining. So, stranger things have happened.
Now Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 down at the 33. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Here's Goff. Williams brings it in. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Goff now looks to throw. And it's caught. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. Throwing again is Goff. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
3rd and goal from the 2, and they're going with a jumbo set offensively. Brooks, they'll try to run this one in. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions have got it back to within a score. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the 2nd half. But, Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
2nd and a couple. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 101 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Prescott to throw it. And that's complete to Cooks. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. Off the play fake, Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 26. A gain there of 21 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does. To throw is Prescott. It's caught. Tolbert.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Second down and a yard. Looking to throw. Prescott. He's going to be sacked. Back in the 23-yard line. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Prescott. A short one there, taken in by Ferguson. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So on 4th down, Prescott off, and on is Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. And his kick is good. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Lions offense set to take over. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Now it's Goff. Outright, this one goes to Patrick. And he goes out right around the 39. A yard, all they need, but it's 3rd down. Goff now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
I don't care what level of football you played. This one was a universal, wasn't it? When we were kids and we played touch football, remember we get in these positions and you just say, everybody go along, and hope someone would come free.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 down at the 31. In motion goes Patrick. Goff throwing again. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped.
Not quite enough to get into the end zone, but what a nice play there. He makes the catch, tries to turn upfield and get to the pylon, but doesn't quite get there. But they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal from very short range.
And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Arlington. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. Running the toss to Brooks here. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I thought they were onto something with their play call and kind of went in reverse a little bit. Threw it on 1st down, then ran it on 2nd down. Not successful either way. What play call do they come up with here on this important 3rd down try?
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Tim Patrick, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions are an extra point away from going back on top here in the 4th. An out route there for the score, a quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands, knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
Extra point forthcoming. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott getting ready to go once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter. This to the sideline and over everybody. Incomplete. No flags forthcoming, though. Maybe a break there. That looked like a clear throwaway to me. Now a 2nd and 10. Prescott off play action. Short pass taken in by Schoonmaker. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 6. Eluding the pressure right. But he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense and Jared Goff set to take over once more. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 1st and 10, it's Brooks. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. DeMarvion Overshown, the one to bring him down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
2nd and 9. Goff now looking to throw. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta.
A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here's 3rd and a few inches. They'll try and run here with Brooks. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. He hasn't really had a game to remember, but that conversion right there is something to hang his hat on late.
It certainly is, and in these situations, what you're really looking for is the guy who's not worried about his stats, not worried they didn't get 100 yards in a game, but will make that dirty, gritty run that you have to close the game out, as we just saw there.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine.
Once again, it's Brooks.
It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Pastor, you said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
On 3rd down, they go with Brooks.
And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
4th quarter, 2 minutes on the clock, in a tight 1-point game.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. Here comes the Lions punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line.
The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. This is 1st and 10. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
That's going to change things in a hurry. That shortens the field considerably, and now they're on the move.
Here's 1st and 10 now. Now Prescott.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
To throw, Prescott.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
Well, this crowd into it now. 3rd and 2. Here's Dak. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Prescott. A short one there taken in by Ferguson.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Here's 2nd down. Now Dak. He'll get this to his running back, Dowdle.
The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game.
Well, this crowd doing their best to make a lot of racket. It's 3rd and 5. Here's Prescott. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
And this one is right down the middle. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So here's Goff and the Lions.
Down by 2, 33 seconds to go. And they need about 35 yards to get in range for a winner as they come up on 1st down. Now Goff. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
Now it's Goff. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here.
Goff. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Gotta avoid the flags defensively. Here's 4th and long.
They go ahead and snap it. Goff. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear the Cowboys are going to win this football game. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left.
Prescott, he goes down to a knee, and that should just about do it. So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high-flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Big D.